All right, this is so cool. We are live on for tuning in to Girls Guide to Greatness. I have got a special guest for you today. Her name is Kellie Lupsha, and you've probably heard of her before because she was my very first guest on the Girls Guide to Greatness podcast way back when, at the beginning of the year. So we both have come such a far way, right? We've done so much since then. So I'm super excited to listen in and get to know her a little bit more and see what she's been up to. But just a brief little recap about Kellie. She is a physical therapist in Orange County, California. And she's worked for years with neurological disorders, helping people with biohacking their way to wellness through let's see if I can see this. Nutrigenomics. How do we say that, Kellie?
Nutrigenomics. That was awesome.
Nutrigenomics. I was so close. But she teaches people to become the CEO of their own health. I love that. So, you know what? Welcome to the show, Kellie. There's so much about you. I could just go on and on, but we're going to keep it brief. And I want you to actually share with people what you've been up to and what you're all about. So, yeah, what's been going on?
Such a blessing, Rebecca. Oh my gosh. I feel like we could be, all around the world, but so close, right?
Yes, matter. Absolutely. So yeah. Close. The last time you talked to me, I was in North Carolina and now I'm in Scotland.
Now you're in Scotland. Holy smokes.
That's crazy.
Such a pleasure to be on. I love chatting with you, love chatting with your audience. So thanks. And a little bit more about me is, so I've really loved, my career as a physical therapist, and over the past 25 years, just given me a lot of insight to people and health and wellness. And what's been fascinating to me is over the past few years, people have always said, oh my gosh, Kellie, how do you have so much energy? Kellie, how do you stay so organized? How do you manage several businesses? How do you run a household of 4 kids? And in the last 2.5 years, been taking care of aging parents. And, I know, Rebecca, you're like, I don't have those extra distractions.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And let me tell you, when you need to focus, it's difficult out there in the world today. So people are asking how do I focus, but also how do I have the health and vitality that I have today? Speaking from a woman who's about to be approaching on 50 coming up, I just realized that too much of the time in the world, we all give ourselves to the world and to the others, right? Our family, our community, we don't, it's out there, self-care, it's out there, take care of yourself, but we don't really do a very good job, to be honest.
Right.
And I've seen so many of my friends end up with, all sorts of variety of issues, right? Could be a little bit of anxiety, depression, could be a little bit of autoimmune. Maybe I've had some friends with cancer. It's where is this all coming from? Mm-hmm. Where do they have resources? Or maybe just so many people are in overwhelm. And I think 2020 really has brought in so much overwhelm to people.
Yes.
Where do I even start? Whether it's business focused, health focused, family focused, where do I start? Mm-hmm. And so I've just decided that's it. I'm going to create a community of how to get started. I love your guide to greatness because in the membership, it's Kellie's going to be your guide.
Yes.
So, baby steps, right? How do I start implementing small changes in my life, things that maybe you knew you were supposed to do? Or maybe it's I have no idea. I don't know the first thing about, hormones or meditating or something. And so how do I even start the learning process? And so hence the birth of Women's Wellness Revolution.
That is so awesome. I think that's definitely needed. Like you said, so many people don't even know where to start or where to go. And then now you've created this space for them to actually say, hey, this is what I got for you. You need to come check it out. If people are already overwhelmed, this is going to help them get less overwhelmed because now that's a step-by-step process. It's easy to access. I love it.
Yes. Nobody wants another thing to do, right? Who wants just another thing to do? So it's how do we just use life and flow and focus in your day. So it's not another thing, but you're just more aware and you're implementing and you're supported and you're validated because inside the membership every single week, we'll talk about every month of a different topic, overall topic, but then every single week, medical, healthcare, wellness professionals and experts are going to be coming in, giving their expertise. And for me, it might be just what someone's missing. And somebody else might go, oh, that's, what, I feel good on that area, but my friend, she's been talking about that. She needs to know that, right?
Yeah.
So it could be, something from a psychological standpoint. It could be something from a physical standpoint. And the guests that are lined up to come on are like, it's gonna blow people away.
That's great.
Take access to these people. Like, what? I don't have to go to the Ultra Wellness Center and spend thousands of dollars. I'm gonna get people literally coming to me. It's incredible.
Right, exactly. It makes it, like you said, so easy to access too, because we don't want to spend hours upon hours researching or even going outdoors and having to stand in lines and doing all these things to get access to these experts when we can just come to you and check it out, right? That sounds good to me.
Yeah. So, every month I put together like a little toolkit so they can like just make sure they're organized for the month, take in information from the speakers. And, people are all spending money in a variety of ways, but this is the other thing that I found is we tend to throw money at things, right? The next shiny object, the next potion and pill or person or book or whatever. And we all do spend a lot of money. So where could we take those resources and actually put a little financial investment into getting everything that you need? But at the same time, everyone's craving connection today. And craving in a positive, uplifting way, right? If something's not positive and validated and great in my life, I don't need the noise, right? But there's a lot of noise. And so people are like, how do I get out of the noise? And where do I find this positive place when I can't go back to my gym membership? I can't go back to my woman's book club that I used to do. And I got that. I was filled up from that. Now they're missing all these things. And so this is a community of women that all want to literally create a revolution. I truly believe that us as women have so much, power, and power meaning passion behind our purpose, not power over somebody by any way, but we have this guide to make a purpose and a change that we were here on purpose, right? And so what is that in each and every one of us? Because, maybe even for a lot of women out there, it's, if you're still having young children at home, that you're in the middle of homeschooling chaos, oh my goodness gracious, bless you. We have 4 kids, and our youngest is about to be 16 and our oldest is 22. So yes, they're still in school and college, but they're independent. They're on their own, right? I'm not having to monitor and manage them. But for a lot of women that are in that place like me, if you did take time off work in your career and now your kids are going off, a lot of people now what? What does the workforce look like? Do I want to recreate myself? Can I recreate myself? Then there's fear, doubt, I'm not good enough, right?
Oh yeah, been there, done that.
And so it could be, what are all that? Because we can't separate health, we can't separate our life, we can't separate our careers. We're all one. Right. But sometimes, again, it gets in that overwhelm is, what's me first and foremost? And what I've always said, because I've seen this in my household firsthand, that when I go down, like if my health is not on my A game, or I'm exhausted, or I've had an event, guess what else happens? The household comes crashing down.
Oh yeah.
And my work comes crashing down, right? So this, energy that we have needs to be focused and purposeful and driven, because our kids are watching, our family's watching, our community's watching. So how we show up in the world is a really big deal.
It matters. Oh my gosh, you're speaking my speak once again, Kelly, as always. But I preach this all the time in my on my podcast and in my books that I write. And I just released my new Becoming Superhuman series, where I basically tell them that's the importance, of the way we think about ourselves, and thoughts have power, and they have the power to heal. As far as our words are concerned as well, that all gives us a power to heal our bodies and to heal our minds. And so I help them tap into that. But one of the main things I liked what you said is that, women in general really spend a lot of their energy into giving themselves so much over to their jobs or careers, to their kids, their spouse, that by the end of the day, they're completely wiped. They have nothing more to give. And so that's another thing that I really help guide the ladies of my team together. They actually go and experience, self-love and self-care, because if they're not at 100%, how are they able to give 100%? And so, we have to, that old, that story we hear where we put the mask on first, and then right. And then we do our kids, right? So it's like, okay, guys, we have to be a little selfish. We have to pay attention to our body and all those little indicators that are going off, headaches, fatigue, brain fog, something's wrong. you got to figure out what's going on and not just put a Band-Aid over it like a pill or whatever, but actually get to the source. Because if we don't, that could actually speed up the aging process. That could speed up disease. You could actually be on track to something that you don't want to be on track to. So I guess as soon as you start paying attention, like you said, living intentionally, then you can actually get to the source of things, actually, face it on, head on, and then get it done. I always say, get it done and move on, because you don't want to be stuck there, right? We want to continue to grow and evolve and to get better and to heal ourselves. So I'm right there with you.
Oh my gosh. So I'll have to give you a personal story that literally just happened yesterday. Those of you, especially if you're women out there listening, I'm sure we used to all say, oh my God, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. And we shuffled our kids around and this and that. And it almost became this like badge of honor of who's the busiest.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So cool of who's the busiest. And oh my God, how can you get all of that done? And how can you get, so as I've tried to slow down and focus and like, what is most purposeful, right? And who am I with in my life that when I'm there, I'm present.
Yes.
I'm really getting the things done that mean the most, right? Otherwise it's just tasks at hand. And listening to my body of what's purposeful. So yesterday I came home in the afternoon after work, and it was about 3:00. I have coaching that I do on Tuesday evenings. I knew that was coming up, and I knew I really wanted to go for a run. But I just was all of a sudden, like at that moment, exhausted, right? Just like for the moment, not like I'm not an exhausted person. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to lay down for 20 or 30 minutes and see if that's what my body needs. I need to listen to my body. I need to give myself permission. Normally, my old Kellie would have never, ever thought of laying down, giving myself permission to lay down. Like, what? That's like time to do something in the day. That's wasting time is what I would have said. And I laid down. I put my timer on for 30 minutes. I literally went to sleep. And I knew. And I got up and I was like, I just needed that. You know what? And I feel better. And I could go for my run. I came back. I was like on point and on purpose.
That's amazing.
But we just don't pay attention and listen. So we might have achiness. We might have these headaches. We might have pain somewhere. And it's easy to brush it off. Or it's easy to say it to someone, and that person who doesn't know you just says, oh, it's just kind of normal. Oh, you probably pulled a muscle. Oh, you probably didn't eat something right. Well, you guys listen to yourself. And so that's where, as the membership, Rebecca, if another woman says, I was feeling that too, you start getting validation that you're not weird, you're not normal, you're not crazy. It's all normal. But how do we listen to our bodies? How do we actually set intention? How do we carve in 5 minutes of the day? Not an hour, right? An hour for anybody's overwhelm. I can't meditate for an hour. I can't do this for an hour. But if we knew the value of certain things, it's like, would it be worth 5 or 10 minutes? Knowing that long-term in your health, like you said, like we might be creating disease and early aging if we're not doing a lot of these things.
And you're a perfect example.
Yeah.
Because like you were saying, you're approaching your 50s here pretty soon, but you don't look like that. You don't show up like that. You've embraced, the youth and vitality and energy, and you listen to your body. So women out there who are going to be watching us later or even listening to this, look up Kellie Lupsha. Like, she knows what she's talking about. And I think I'm an example as well, because that's the whole reason I put my Becoming Superhuman series together, was because people kept saying, Rebecca, you look way younger than you really are, and all these different things. And it's like, well, I guess I'm onto something here. And the more I did research on it, the more I realized I was, doing everything right to steer away from disease, steer away from cancer, and go into a different path to long life and to vitality. And I'm not talking about into our 50s or 60s. I'm talking about to like 100, 120, 150. Like, you never know, because you pair that up with technology, and it's going to be amazing what we're going to be capable of as a human race. So as a species, it's going to be amazing.
Heck yeah. I mean, I think we're all going to be seeing, many of us have had children a little later in life. And then some people today are having children much later in life. And it's like, you want to have that same energy, vitality, fuel for your grandkids one day, and maybe your grandkids, and the old, when we think of the picture an old person in your mind, kind of feeble, decrepit, maybe wheelchair, care. But honestly, you guys, this is the truth. If we do the work today in our lives, and Rebecca, this is like, you know this.
Yes.
If we do the work in our health today, we won't be dying of disease.
That's right.
We'll die in one day of like, oh, I'm 105 and I've finished my life and I just don't wake up, right? Like we don't die of disease and illness because we're actually keep taking care of this temple.
Absolutely. I love that. Actually, and I pair that with my vision as well. I always have a vision of my life and a vision of who I want to become, as I progress and evolve. I always say I'm progressing gracefully, because when you progress gracefully, you don't care about getting older, because you're going to become a better version of yourself. And my better version, my vision in my head is that I'm going to be the hottest grandma out there. I'll be running marathons, climbing mountains, just doing some crazy extreme things because I'll be able to. So I'm going to be stepping into my later years as this strong and beautiful woman who can actually be mobile and flexible and has a strong heart and is, disease free. That we have to start thinking about who do we want to become, in our later years. And now is a good thing to be looking at as well, but also as we continue to progress. So I think that's an important thing to pair it with your vision.
Yes. And I think if, we all sometimes feel like we're the outlier. And so that's where I'm loving bringing this community all together, that no, you're not the outlier. Somebody else is thinking the same thing. Somebody else has better health. It's like, oh, let's just go and all eat fast food. And you're like, oh, that's not what I want to do. Right. So could you be in a community of how to help keep yourself focused in health and health number one, right? It's important to
I was going to ask, what is the first, so let's just say I signed up today, what are the first things that you would do to actually bring me through the process, get me onboarded and all that? Is there like a specific system in place?
Absolutely. So the official launch is going to be I'm trying to think what day it is today, the 11th. So the official launch that you can actually enroll is on the 23rd. So we've just got about, a little over a week and a half to go. So if you're interested today, reach out to me through probably the best way to find me. I'm going to give you my email, but people can find me through Messenger, through Facebook. So Facebook, Kellie Lupsha. So Messenger, Kellie Lupsha. And so it's KellieLupsha, or email me at Kellie@thelupshas.com. So again, KellieAt thelupshas, it's plural.com. And as soon as the link comes out, I will get that out to you guys. And then this is what it's going to look like. It's going to launch December 1st. So there's actually a founding member launch. And so if you are part of the literally first 10-day enrollees in this founding member launch, you're going to get, this is crazy, Rebecca, you're going to get a price of $19 a month, or cut off 2 months and it's $190 a year. That's all it is for access to all this information and professionals. And again, come stop anytime, join anytime, whatever. The founding member launch will just be people starting. And as long as you keep that membership, you'll keep that $19 price for life.
That's amazing. I love founding member launches. I do them a lot with my clients and with my programs as well. They work. It's amazing because you can get in at such a lower price and be locked into that for life. It's great.
It's great. It's great. And there's going to be some big things coming. And the people part of the founding member are also going to get a tons of bonuses. They're going to get a free one-on-one with me. So many things coming. But what does the membership really look like? So the membership you're going to have an exclusive, your own access to a site, right? And in that site, there's going to be monthly messages from me, and it'll be the overall kind of topic of the month. And within that, there's going to be a speaker every single week that comes in twice a week. Twice a month, they'll be live. Twice a month, they're going to be pre-recorded more interviews. But then the beautiful thing about it is that you're going to have every single Friday, Coffee with Kellie, and I'm answering questions. So all the questions that you get that you're thinking about from the speakers, oh, what about this? What about that? How do I access this? All the questions will be able to be answered every single Friday in the group. And then there'll be a little toolkit every single month that you have the resources, the knowledge, reference to certain books or podcasts that pertaining to that information that month that you can, again, purchase if you want, listen to if you want, but all related. And some things you might say wow, this is totally my vibe. And other things maybe not as much because maybe you already knew that information. But information is always evolving. right? So just being open. I think if we can all be open to learning, then it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that existed. Or, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that could help in this aspect of my life. But we all have to be open to learning, because if we're not, then it's like, of course, you're not going to get better or heal, right? Because you're not growing anymore. You're not able to do that.
And then who knows, maybe at this moment in time, you don't need this information, but later on you may need it. And so is this like going to be like a kind of a library as well, where I get to go in, let's just say you're 5 months into the membership already. You've already had these amazing speakers and resources. So I'm new to the membership. I'm going to be able to like look at all the previous information. I get to go through all of that. And okay, so that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, so it'll be archived so people can go back, reference it again, watch a different video, or again, like you said, you come in later, you can absolutely have access to everything, and you'll have access to everything until, you know, you would decide, I don't need the membership anymore. It no longer serves me, or whatever that may be. Absolutely. And I really, really wanted it available. You know, two big driving forces when I was looking at this is I wanted to be able to price something that everybody could afford, right? Skip your extra special cup of coffee, skip your, you know, whatever that may be. And I think you can take that $19 and put it towards your health. You know, that's
absolutely. Might as well. Like you were saying before, they're going to spend it anyway on frivolous items that they're trying to cover up, or they're trying to think that they're doing something towards their health, but they're really not. Again, putting that Band-Aid on instead of getting to the core reason, right? And so this is it. This is a great solution for them.
This is it. And then the second part about it is, you know, I do live in an area of the world that has tons of access to things, right? I live in Southern California. I can have access to a lot of information, people, doctors, places, things. But for the majority of the people around the world, they don't.
That's true.
In a small town in the US, whether you live somewhere across the country, you don't have access to going to seeing the expert, the specialist. Or you might not even know, like nobody even talks about like what is functional medicine, what is PRP, what are you even talking about? This is Greek to me because it's not like out there. You don't live in a place that cultivates wellness and health.
Oh yeah, I totally agree, Kelly.
Yeah, so you could be in a small town, right, somewhere, and now literally it's like you're in the middle of, you know, Los Angeles with all this information, top experts around the world. Like it's going to come to you. Wow.
Yeah, I think that's great because I'm a nerd anyway, so I like reading and I like researching and learning about all, you know, health and fitness and biohacking and all this other stuff. And that's what I get into, but not a lot of people do. And so how cool is it that you are offering this service where they don't have to read every book or listen to every podcast or whatever. Everything is outlined right here for them for this specific area, right? So I think that's amazing. And I love how you mentioned functional medicine and PRP. I actually learned about that stuff reading books. So because that's not, like you said, that's not common knowledge. I had to actually go searching for it. I had to look for it. And they, you know, that old saying, you know, seek and you shall find. So I was actually looking for something and I found it. And now I get to share that knowledge with others. But I think it's great that you guys are putting this all together in one spot for people to access. Pretty cool.
Exactly. And I think honestly, if you're not in healthcare or wellness, or you haven't had a significant health issue, you don't go down the journey of discovering health.
Yeah. Why should you? You'll have a reason to.
You're doing everything else. Like you're an accountant, you're a teacher, you're this, you're just stay-at-home mom with your children. So you're just trying to figure out what's the best way to homeschool right now. And so, but we do need this information. And so instead of it being an overwhelm to think you have to be that expert, no, the experts are going to take their synopsis and their summary, come to you. So you just start having a better understanding of how to be the best version of you, right? And I think together as women collectively to be in this positive supporting place, collectively, we can create this women's wellness revolution. So if we're all on our A game, I truly believe that we can help really change the world.
That is so cool. I love that. Well, you also have a place, I'm thinking of like, you know, as this moves on and as more women gather and the revolution gets bigger, I'm thinking worldwide. I'm a big thinker. I always think, you know, I'm thinking like huge right now, planet domination. So I'm thinking like as this moves on and as the women are going through these resources, these programs, this training and coaching, that you're going to have some really cool stories come out of this. Is there going to be a place in there where we get to see transformations, you know, before and afters or whatever, you know, the people who are actually taking on this advice and these suggestions and seeing their lives really transform?
Absolutely. No, I'm so excited. And, the people, especially in this founding member launch, being in the beginning and the first. And of course, as anything, right, the program will evolve according to the needs of what everybody's saying. Hey, we want this, we want that.
Right.
So fantastic. I'm here to help serve. And so, yeah, in a 6 months and a year, like it's going to be pretty phenomenal for people to start saying, wow, this is where I was. And this is what I look like now. Right. I mean,
cool.
That's
going to be awesome.
That's where I got, I used to, as just a physical therapist, right? I used to really help people transform their lives because they came to us from a stroke, a traumatic brain injury. And I knew I was helping them in their life. But what I've really have realized that I really just have a passion now and a purpose to be able to serve. Right? I've gotten all this education and knowledge. I've been fortunate that I've made connections with people in all aspects of the field of health and wellness and medicine. So what a gift that I could come and create and bring this all together for others.
Yeah. That's awesome, Kellie. I'm so excited for you. And I can tell your energy and passion do read through. It's absolutely amazing. So I wish you the best in all of your endeavors. You have to let us know how this goes. I'm going to have all the information that you told us about, like the launch date, the links, all that good stuff in the show notes. So people make sure you reach out to Kellie because she knows what she's doing. And I can't wait to see all the transformations that come from this. It's going to be pretty awesome. So Kellie, thank you so much for being on Girls Guide again. I am so excited to have you on the show as always. You're amazing. You're beautiful, you're radiant, and I love your energy. Absolutely.
Thank you, Rebecca. Such a pleasure to serve your community and your audience. And please feel free to reach out if I can help any of you.
Yes, if anybody has any questions or wants to join the membership, you need to contact Kellie. So thank you guys for watching on Facebook, and man, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Have a great week, guys. Cheers.
Bye.